Yeah, so our podcast is about your journey in music and how you got to where you are now. We'll
Nice.
talk about the show and the new. You have a new EP coming out,
I
right?
do. Yes, it's called Great
Right?
Indoors.
Yeah. How fitting.
I know, right? Yes. So exactly. That's the whole point. A great indoors. We are stuck here. So let's make the best of it.
I love that. So cool. Well, Genevieve, tell me, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So amazing place to grow up. Just,
Which part, if you don't
incredibly.
mind me asking? I've lived up there for like
Oh, you did
8
Redwood
years.
City.
Oh, okay, cool. Right on.
Yeah. So where did you live?
I lived in Walnut Creek.
Oh, love Walnut Creek. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you listening, when we say the Bay Area, it's like there's this big body of water, beautiful water, and there's all the cities surrounding it basically are the Bay Area.
Yeah, it's
And
massive.
it's
San Francisco is
massive.
such a little pinpoint in the whole
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah, it really is. But it deserves to be the pinnacle of our Bay Area.
Definitely. So grew up in Redwood City?
Yeah, so I grew up in Redwood City and I started doing music in the local hip hop and rap scene, actually, out in San Francisco and East Bay and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
And I sang on a bunch of rap hooks. That's how I started.
Wow.
So I have like 50 rap albums that I'm on, and my young fans will never hear those. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, so I started in hip hop and then I would be out in clubs like freestyling, and I had a band also called Legato, which was like a neo soul.
Oh,
And
cool.
so yeah, just really super, and my parents are musicians too. So
Oh, they are. So is that
yeah.
kind of how you got into music? What do your parents play?
Interestingly enough, my mom is a singer. She did it more casually, like in clubs and stuff. My dad was a signed and touring artist.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's a music producer, and he actually manages me now, and he's toured around the country with us for 14 years doing Choo Choo Soul and doing the live sound and lighting and stage and managing. It's so cool for us to like
That
have
is
that.
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
To have your dad on board and everything. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really cool. So definitely a family business. But yeah, I started in the Bay, and the Bay Area also is known for the amazing, tech and a lot of video game companies. So I did some video game voiceovers, which led me to children's entertainment. And I just sort of like continued down that path because I was like, man, this is my thing,
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so Choo Choo Soul, which is the show that was on Disney Junior that you said your son knows, that started because I was doing a video game voiceover for Toe Jam and Earl, which is kind of like an old fun.
Oh yeah, I remember that on like Super Nintendo.
Yeah, exactly. So I was on Toe Jam and Earl 3, and my favorite story about all of this is that I auditioned for a part and I did not get the part. So it's like not getting that part led me still to this career that I've had. I like to tell kids and people that, because I just got to know the creator of the game and ended up doing little character voices, which led me to start singing like for fun some of the lines. And it sparked this thing inside the creator who was like, I have this idea for a CD for kids, and we just went from there. It was just this cool thing. We recorded the Choo Choo Soul album in Berkeley, California. And yeah, it was just like going to be a cool CD for kids. And,
and that's what spun into the show. So the CD started first.
The CD started first. Yeah. So all those songs, All Aboard the Choo Choo Train, Jump, Jump, the ABCs, the Steam Train, all that was already recorded and done. And then we made videos for it. It's so cool.
That is insane. That's so awesome. I would have never thought that. Wow. Okay. So you started in the Bay Area, as you said, you were doing like hip hop, like rap.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because I did see that you do poetry.
Yes. So and I actually sit on the board of a nonprofit organization called Say Word that brings spoken word poetry into English classrooms as a method of, processing and, a lot of the underprivileged neighborhoods and stuff like that. And it's just been amazing. If you've ever seen like a slam poetry, and just getting these kids, high school kids to, pour their hearts out in that way. It's really, really awesome.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah. So, okay. So tell me how you got from the clubs to even getting the opportunity to do Toe Jam and Earl.
well, through that, actually a producer that I worked with, Genesee, who's from the Bay too,
Mm-hmm.
and also Cosmo, who is also from the Bay. There was kind of talk through studios that they were casting for this, for a female rapper for a
Mm-hmm.
Toe Jam and Earl. So that kind of came across my pager.
Sure. For sure.
Yeah, but anyway, that's how that happened. So I was auditioning for that female rapper role. That's the role that I did not get and ended up doing, side character voices.
But
So it's
yeah,
kind of
but you still got a part in the game, just not the
exactly.
part you auditioned for.
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
But okay, so even before that, how did you get involved with, was it just networking when you were performing
Yeah, so it's just
yourself?
networking. I was kind of like that, the girl in high school who like sang, but I didn't have any, songs or credits or anything. But it would be like, "Oh, you sing, right? Sing," and I would be like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Anyway, it's just kind of, that was, my friends were always like, "She sings," which is really, it's fun. It's fun when friends pump you up because that's kind of the real beginning. Well, really, the real beginning as my family as musicians.
Hmm.
But it's interesting when you grow up in a musical household. Yeah, it wasn't like they were pushing me to do that or anything, but on the flip side, I was never held back by this notion that like that's not a real profession.
Right. Yeah,
So
exactly. It
that
wasn't
part
like
of it,
you can, that's not something yeah, you need to go to
yeah,
college to do this and that and the other thing.
yeah. So I think that not having that, I'm sure like somewhere in there, my mom was like, I hope she doesn't follow this path. But I mean, she's so proud of me and all that, but at some point you kind of like, okay, what else are you going to do? Which I've
Mhm.
always had a, what else are you going to do? I worked in offices, I worked in restaurants. I've always worked, multiple jobs at the same
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Up until I was able to like not anymore. I mean, when Choo Choo Soul came out in 2006, I was working at an insurance company. So I'm like
Still,
pinstripe pants, collared shirt. And I was just like, hey, everybody watch me on Disney. And
oh wow, so you
I
had
had
both
people,
jobs at the
I did.
time.
I actually three, two. I worked at a restaurant also. I'm telling
Oh,
you, all of these jobs helped me so much because like, especially for insurance company, I would like do open enrollment meetings and I would be like, for your additional death and dismemberment benefit,
oh right.
will be, and
Yeah.
people are like, why do you still work here? And then the restaurant, every table you walk up to, it's like an audition,
Right, you got to be bubbly
yeah, I'm like,
and
hey, you're either going to love me or hate me, but I'm here with you for the next hour, so
right.
that really helped me to walk onto any stage, into any studio, into any audition and just be like, hey, this is, here I
Yeah, just
am.
have the confidence to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's pretty cool.
that is amazing. Well, tell me about being on, like, getting that role to be on TV. That must have been like so different than
Oh my
anything
gosh.
else. Like, have you
It
ever done that
was.
before? Like anything of the
No.
sort?
No. And I had done music, so I had done like stage stuff and some music videos. Um, but those, the hip hop videos are like, there's one that I'm in. It's so funny. Like girls are like washing a car.
Oh
And
man, that's
I'm
awesome.
like singing on the old school mic. It's hilarious. Anyway, but what was the question?
Oh, I just said, tell me about,
Oh
being
yeah,
in front of
finally getting
camera,
to be,
yeah.
yeah. Well, it was, I think I did okay, but everyone's their own worst critic. Sometimes I watch those original Choo Choo Souls back and I'm just like, oh, I was kind of had to like get the hip hop out of me a little bit, but they liked the authenticity of who I was, which I also think is why Choo Choo Soul did so well.
Hmm.
They thought it was just going to be 5 videos and it just kept going and going because people loved it. But it was, I feel like they were great directors. So I just kind of went with it and I was singing my own song. So that makes it easier. It's not like they wrote the song for me.
Oh, you wrote the music or
Well,
wrote the song?
so Greg Johnson, who's the creator of Toe Jam and Earl, He wrote the songs, and Burke Trieschman, who did the music for Toe Jam and Earl, he produced the music. So Greg recorded his ideas into his phone. It's fun. Do you see my Zoom? I'm like disappearing into the background.
Sometimes that happens with the
yeah.
virtual background.
Yeah.
That's all good.
So he would sing into a song, like into his phone, like doom, da doom, 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 doom is the bass line. And then we're going to go 1, 2, like he literally sang the whole thing into his phone. And then Burke took it, you know, did the music. And then I would put the vocals and the harmonies, and we built it into what it is. So it's pretty cool in that way. So that helped. I was performing my own stuff, so to speak. So I was just kind of being myself and going for it. And never having done green screen, of course, they're like, go like this, and there's going to be a bird there. I'm like, are you serious? You know, so that stuff was really, really fun. But never could I have imagined actually seeing it and seeing what they did with it. That was amazing. IBC Digital is the animation company that did Choo Choo Soul, and just to see it, it was just inspiring. I was like, I'm never going back. I was working at the insurance company when it came out, but pretty much once I saw it and felt that, I was like, okay, this is my time to go move to LA, put all my chips in, and just figure this out. So
did they shoot the show in LA?
Actually, they shot it in New Jersey. So that was its own whole experience too.
Did you have to like screen test, or was it like they knew that
you know what's interesting? They had the album, they heard it. Disney Records actually passed on it at first, but they sent it up. They're like, there might be something here, sent it up to the channel, which was called Playhouse Disney at the time. Disney Junior wasn't its own network yet. And so they got a hold of it, and they're like, yeah, there's something here. This is really cool. What she likes. So they flew me down to Burbank, and they put me in a room with 30 kindergartners and a line of suits in the back with cameras. I didn't even know this was going to happen. They just kind of walked me in, and they're like, all right, go. I said, wow. Oh, okay. Well, kids, I would love to see that video if it exists somewhere. But
performed in front of, like, had you ever taught or done that? And like,
you know, I've always had a kid energy. I've always been like, you know, good with kids, so to speak. So that I had, but not professionally or anything, you know, but I had done plenty of performing on stage already. So, you know, I guess hip hoppers at a club at 2 a.m. are similar to kids in some way. That is just how it went. And then it just kind of went on from there. It's funny, my co-star DC on the show, he didn't have to do any of that. They just like saw, I think, a video of him, and they're like, yes, him. Yeah, great. Yeah. Because he does all that beatboxing. No, he wasn't either. But he just has that star quality. He's always been in entertainment and radio and mascotting. He's worked with all the every team in the Bay. He's worked with them.
That's cool.
So now he's the entertainment coordinator for the 49ers also, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's huge.
I know.
How cool.
Yeah. So we just kind of were the right
tickets
fit.
To the games?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So it's really cool. It's like we went from being those kind of local kids, I guess you could say, that we were known in our small little bubbles for being, you know, entertainers, and then just taking that, and that moment opened up, and we just shot through it and just, you know, kept going. Then with my dad having his company, GFI Entertainment, he approached Disney and asked, you know, how would you feel about them touring this? So he really built that into a live stage.
Wow.
What
a brilliant move on his.
Brilliant. Yeah, totally.
He had you already have the audience of.
Yeah. And yeah, so, and people were so interested, like, oh my gosh, we love this. It's so, you know, authentic. Cause like I always say, you can put a backwards hat and a gold chain on Mickey Mouse, but you really shouldn't do that. Don't do that, Disney. But I'm just saying, like, it's not, authentically they picked up something that was already made. Like, it's like they went to Berkeley, California and picked up this album that was already done. So, that authenticity was there, which people love. You can't fake that. And you can't produce, people. That's why people were drawn to it.
Right. And you guys could actually perform.
Yeah.
Right. It wasn't like it was all faked. You weren't lip syncing up on TV.
Exactly. Yeah. And DC beatboxes and break dances. So it was fun to see,
That's cool. So was that your first experience touring?
No, my band Legato, which DC was also in, we had toured before, like the college scene.
So you knew him prior to doing the show?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I thought he was just kind of thrown together with you.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't explain that part well.
No, it's okay.
Greg Johnson was like, "Hey, the guy in your band, would he do some, stuff on the album?" And then,
and then they decided, they just went with both of you.
Yeah, and it's just
how different was it touring to children?
Where's my jacket? There it is.
How different was it to tour with, children and their parents? I'm sure your shows are at like noon and not at 10 p.m.
Exactly. So good. I'm telling you, I never went back. So amazing.
Hours.
Because it's one thing as an artist, a lot of it is very, it's all narcissistic, but artist is very much like, here's this song that I wrote about this thing that I went through. And here it goes. You know what I mean? Where you're kind of like, hopefully the people like it, or, you're in clubs or bars and people are eating and talking while you're performing, there's that whole thing. But it's like with kids, it means something, it's to actually have that it's just,
how impactful. They'll remember that. You know what I mean? Like as a kid, you'll remember these shows that you went to as where I've seen thousands of bands before and I don't.
Yeah, of course. Unless they pulled you on stage, you're not going to.
Right. And remember it so much as with something like that.
Right. So that just the meaningful aspect of it. And then of course there's kids that aren't paying attention or don't know what to do. When you first come out on stage, they're like, the first song is usually like, they're just like, I'm gonna see if I turn this up if it helps. So anyway, it all prepared me for that, but it's just it's amazing because it's twofold. We've met kids and we've met their parents. So I've made so many friends from Choo Choo Soul that are like lasting friends that were parents of fans.
That's really cool. I love on your Instagram, you say, don't judge my numbers. My fans are too young for Instagram.
Exactly.
I read that. I was like, that is hilarious. Although you do have a lot of followers on Instagram. So.
Well, thank you. But, it's interesting when I think about it, just the messages I get, like to really grasp that idea that how many people have seen Choo Choo Soul is amazing.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know that he would have remembered that.
Right. It's just this little thing that like lives in the back of your mind. Yeah.
He started singing the theme song. He's like, is it this? Yes. And then I'm like, and I found it on YouTube. Yeah. I'm like, it is.
Yes. See, that's so great. And then recently I like, it like was this viral trend that keeps coming back around where people are like, did you know Cardi B was the girl from Choo Choo Soul?
Oh.
And so all these like memes have just generated like millions to the point where Cardi B responded. This is like a couple years ago. She actually responded on Twitter and she was like, that's not me. Geez. But she's so sweet. She's like, she's pretty, but that's not me, which was really nice. And then she's like, I was like 4 when that came out.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, it's funny. So kids will still like latch on to that meme and like they'll still be commenting about it. I think it's hilarious.
Those kids probably like Cardi B now.
Exactly. It's funny to me. I love it.
That is funny. That'd be funny if you guys took a picture together.
I know. Well, she has a kid now, so maybe she'll come around.
Yeah, exactly. So you did Choo Choo Soul was on the air for like how many years? 14 years?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. It's still on Disney Now. The Disney Now app still does well there. Yeah, I'm hoping they put it on Disney Plus. I really hope so. If you're listening to this and you want to see Choo Choo Soul on Disney Plus, tweet to Disney Plus.
I'm surprised they haven't. It'll only be a matter of time. I mean,
for sure.
Adding everything they've ever done.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Oh
maybe
my
they'll
gosh.
hook you up with a new gig, a new Disney Plus
So I
original.
actually do have a new gig with Disney that's been
Oh,
the past,
the
past, gosh, 3 or 4 years now. I've been writing and producing music for their short form series. They did a nursery rhyme series. So I did 25 new nursery rhymes, new school, really fun. Like, and they're doing great on YouTube. One of them has like 85 million views, just one song, Pat a Cake. Crazy, right?
That is
and
so
then
cool.
And then I recently am doing a show called Ready for Preschool. So I've got a bunch of songs there, and they're all animated versions of their characters in their shows that are kind of living through the stuff like tying your shoes, brushing your teeth, learning about bugs, learning about, facts versus opinions, a whole bunch of songs. So Ready for Preschool season 2 is out now, and they're about to release some of those songs on iTunes and everywhere else. That's being released, I think, January 20th.
Oh,
is there another reason January 20th is in my brain?
I don't know.
Yes. But so that's really exciting because I love now writing and producing the music. And as I, age out of people wanting to see my face, I have a little longer still. I still have some time, but I'm just saying,
you definitely
it's amazing though, how I get to write music and I still can give that out. The songs are so good. I'm contemplating trying to formulate a way to tour those live when it's safe again, because they're so cute.
That is really cool. I'm looking at the
Ready for Preschool
right now, and I believe my I have a younger son too who's getting ready or he's in preschool.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 4.
Oh my gosh, my target market.
Yeah,
tell him hi.
I will. He's downstairs trying to.
Oh, good.
I was trying to keep him quiet.
Hence the baby gates. I need those. Exactly. Right now, we're actually in Palm Desert, California.
Cool. We're in San Diego. So
you are? Oh my gosh, we're so close. Yeah. So we just bought actually a condo here that is going to be our vacation and other people's vacation spot. We're setting it up now, but now that LA is the worst place for COVID.
Yeah,
we're here now for a while.
Very smart.
Yeah, but we don't have the baby gates. My reason for saying that was we forgot to pack the baby gates. So my dude is 13 months.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. I promise I won't name his age in months for much longer. I promise I won't do that. But anyway, he's like a year old.
73 months.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Yes. But anyway, my whole point for that was we forgot the baby gates. And he learned to walk literally here since we've been here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was the biggest nightmare, is like child-proofing everything.
I know.
We have stairs, so I had to have 2 more gates. It's just like a whole thing, but
it's a whole thing, but it's fun. I have my biggest social media group is on Facebook. Actually seems like more of the parents and stuff is just, it applies more to what I do. Right. And I have so many like mom and dad friends that have been like fans for their kids' music. But as I go on, I've been able to be like, oh my God, you guys, how do I, what's a good sippy cup? And then like, I'll leave and come back and I have like 100 like comments. That's so cool. Great. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah. How cool. Cause being in the world of children's entertainment for so long, now you have a kid, you're like, hey, how do I do, like, what's the best thing for this? And you have so many people that can
I'm like, hey, you guys, can you help me out now? This is great. Yeah.
That is awesome. So you're doing the nursery rhyme thing on.
Yeah. So nursery rhymes, Ready for Preschool. And so aside from that, it was like, it is time for me to put something out solo again. So I did put out an album several years ago called Do You Know, which was also learning, and really proud of that album. I absolutely love all the songs. And I toured some schools and stuff, and actually that album brought me all the way to the Obama White House. Actually, I
was going to ask you about that. Yeah, you got to do some stuff with Michelle.
I did. Yes, cool. I got to even hold turn the pages while she read a story. It was epic.
Wow. Oh
yeah. So
was that what would you say that was like the highlight of it?
Man.
Yeah. Choo Choo Soul?
That's a highlight for sure. And that actually was, Choo Choo Soul brought me to that, but that was brought through my independent album and the work that I had done with reading stories and stuff. I do a story time live on my Facebook and yeah, so
that is awesome. So tell me about getting obviously some Secret Service problem. You got some email. Like, how do you even get contacted
exactly. Well,
by
there was
Michelle
actually,
Obama?
I know, right? Well,
He called you?
No, there is a company called actually The Entertainment Company, and he would provide costumed characters for the Easter egg roll, like you know, if you wanted Clifford the Big Red Dog or something like that. Sure. So he worked in that realm, and we had crossed paths before. So he kind of threw my name in the hat for what they were doing, and then they looked me up and they were like, "Oh yeah, would she read a story?" You know, so it was great. And then through there, and I remember getting there, and was that the year we actually, we got to meet her, and it was just incredible. And her daughters used to watch Choo Choo Soul, so it was kind of like, oh wait, you know, amazing.
That must be so. I couldn't wrap my head around.
I can't. I still can't. I still can't. It's
how many famous, like very, powerful people have their kids watch on TV?
Right. I know, it's nuts, and so it's amazing. And if I had been more into social media and just kind of like the quest for fame, I probably could have been like quote unquote bigger in that way when you think about those type of numbers. And
right,
you know,
just the audience you had was crazy.
So but I don't know that I'm learning about that now with finally with a label that I just signed to, with just 8 Pound Gorilla, their new label that's doing kids.
You're the first artist signed to the
label.
I'm
the first artist.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah. So super excited.
You? How did that relationship form?
Yep. I am friends with one of the, well, I say friends, I mean, I'd like to think we're friends. I think he'll say so too. But yeah, and he reached out. I'm so excited because they're building it. I love getting into the forefront of something new. It's just awesome.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah. And so I had these ideas for these songs, and the timing was perfect. And it's just great. Like this is an 5-song EP, and we released the first song, which is called Grateful. Yeah, that was just in time for the holidays and Thanksgiving.
It's a cool song.
Thank you.
Yeah, I took a listen to it. Like it's still in that realm of the children's music.
Yep. Yeah. So this is definitely children's, in the children's category, but families, that's cool. That's part of my brand, is that, it's still good music. It's funny.
I listened to it and it was relatable. I mean, you talk about Zoom calls and exactly. So like in the moment.
Yes. So it's all about, we can just be grateful for what we have. And it can be a Zoom party or a FaceTime feast. Yeah. As long as we're together, doesn't matter how we meet. Yeah, we'll be all right. Even if it's on Skype, we'll be all right. Yep.
I love it. Yeah, I was like, this is so perfect.
It's just like, this is what we have to do. We're all here. We all have to do this.
And everybody can relate to it. It doesn't have to be a children's.
Exactly.
focus.
And you know what? Kids are so smart. Like, they don't want to be talked down to. Like,
they don't.
It's that's how I write my music. That's why, clients hire me to write music for them, because it's just, basically my angle to everything is not like, you should do this. My angle is, this is what I'm doing. Do you want to come? And that's how it goes. That's what works with kids too. Yeah. So that's how I've been the whole time through my whole career. And that's kind of become my brand stamp,
Yeah. I mean,
like,
my
everyone
kids know
will
about
say,
Zoom because they're doing class on Zoom. And like the fact that my 4-year-old knows how to go on Zoom, like unmute himself, it's so crazy to me.
It's so crazy, but we should just dive in. We should just embrace it and be like, okay, guys, you go for it. Be the next tech geniuses.
Sure. I mean, he's on his iPad, he can navigate the thing so well. He can call like his grandparents, like on FaceTime, and like,
oh my gosh,
just it's so crazy to me. Like, how
I love
quickly they pick it up.
It's incredible. I hope so. One of my songs on this album and this EP that's coming out actually January 15th, and I have a music video for it, is called Shadow Puppets. And it's kind of like bringing it back. So away from the tech to, old school shadow puppets on the wall, except these are wacky shadow puppets on the wall. So we have, a bunny bouncing on the bottom of the sea, snail driving in a Ferrari, cockatoos at the pyramids. So it's super fun, and it's got this really great poppy vibe to it. So and I'm going to be inspiring kids to actually make shadow puppets. So just get a light, the wall, and get creative. So
yeah, I think there's a picture on your Instagram, I think, and you're doing
yes,
like a
yes,
puppet.
yep, yeah. So that's a scene from the video, but it has animation and I have this amazing shadow puppeteer who did all of it and the work, and it, like, when you first watch the video and you start seeing him do everything, you're like, oh my gosh, that's like a real dude's hands. It's like,
yeah, because it looks like you're doing it. I was going to ask if you had to learn how to do all of the things.
So I took the easy way out and hired a professional.
Brilliant.
But we're all going to learn, because he also made a how-to video for the kids and adults so that we can learn how to do some of the shadow puppets that he did. So
that's cool.
I'll be putting that out too. So hopefully that inspires a little fun time for the family, away from the computers.
Mm-hmm.
And
what was this whole record? And it's called The Great Indoors. Is it was it all written, produced, everything during like COVID?
During the Yep, during COVID. Yeah, it all is. So this song is produced by my good friend Genevieve, who I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
And co-written with my friend Athena Marie. And so we're like on Zoom and Skype and just like, oh, it would be funny. I don't know. How about cougars? Oh, yeah, cougars at the gym. Get it? Love it. So just like having fun and writing and, making it work still. Luckily, I have a home studio. My partners have studios, and we're able to still work through this. So that's been really great.
That is good.
Because I also produced almost the entire second season of Ready for Preschool during the pandemic also.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask, how did that kind of affect you directly?
Yeah, it did. Well, it affected me directly because I hire out for certain things like mixing, some producing, and then some I produce myself. But on this project, while I still did hire out and work with people, I learned and took on a lot of things myself. I mixed a few of the songs. I produced a lot more of the songs myself. So it pushed me in a great way.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you've probably picked up a lot more skills.
I really did. And, I've known I've had them. And it's interesting. I don't know if this is a woman thing or just people in general, but I deal a lot with like imposter syndrome, if you've ever heard of that.
I get that every day. Like, why am I doing, like, why are people watching this?
I know. You're like, why am I calling myself a podcast producer? Like, because you are.
Right. But it's like, what?
I know, but you feel this weird thing like calling myself that. So I've like really gotten over that. Like, I am a producer now. For sure. It's official. It's on the air. It's on iTunes. Like, it happened. So that's been really great. Not to mention having at the time, like a, brand new baby. So I was kind of like, oh, okay.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. What a moment. But at least, I mean, there might have been a silver lining as far as like you had a brand new baby, but at least everyone's inside. So there's no no one's going to complain that you're like, hey, I'm not coming to work today. I have to take care of my kid for 6 months. Or whatever, right.
Yeah. So that, it's been a crazy year, but along with that is just all the more reason, like, let's make some fun songs about this. So I have Shadow Puppets. I have Grateful, which is also talking about like our holidays. Our gatherings are now going to be virtual basically. And we're still grateful has kind of like a Motown kind of
I love that
cool vibe.
I love the song.
And then Shadow Puppets that one has a, like guitar, almost, it's pop. It has the guitar phrasings of like a reggae song, I guess you would call it.
Oh, cool.
But it's bouncy and really fun. So that's Shadow Puppets, about making shadow puppets inside. Then we have Summer All Year Long, which that one kind of has like an old school R&B vibe. And it's talking about the fact that we didn't get to have summer. So let's make summer happen in here. So grab a hat, get a towel, get a lounge chair, your sunglasses, and let's pretend it's summer. So I also have a video for that. And that'll be another great way to reach out to kids and have them show me their ideas of how they made summer inside in February. Yeah.
So is the next single coming out on the 15th, or is the full record coming on the 15th?
So the next single will be on the 15th. That's Shadow Puppets, which has the video. And then we'll vibe out with that. And then February 5th, it'll all be out.
That's what I thought. I thought I read that it was coming out in February. So I just want to clarify. Cool. Yay! Cool. That is so exciting. And do you think you'll do a video for every song, or just a couple?
I think I'm going to do, well, I don't have one for Grateful, but I have 2 already done, but this 4th song is called Candy. That one's just absolutely ridiculous. It's like an 80s pop jam about like, I try so hard to be healthy and I do all this stuff, but I really just want candy, and just listing all that. So I have a vision.
To everybody.
I have a vision for that one. It would have to totally be green screen, like from here. But I don't know. There's such an opportunity for like 80s attire, which would be so fun.
And timely with everybody on a diet, January.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe that would be a good like Valentine's Day.
Yeah, everybody wants some candy.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Cool. That song is ridiculous. I can't wait for everybody to hear that one. And I produced that one myself too and mixed it. And it's just,
I can't wait to hear it. I love the lyrics of Grateful. I just like
Thank you.
It's so relatable to anybody that listens to it. They'll just be
like,
oh yeah, I remember.
Right?
Yeah. Like,
but we'll be all right. Like that was kind of the way to wrap it up. Like we'll be all right. So yeah, my girl Athena and I wrote that together, and Genesee produced that one too. So it's a family affair. And Genesee, like I started my career with him. So it's cool to come full circle and have him,
right.
Have him do some kids jams with me.
What about I've interviewed a few other children's artists, and like they're talking about doing like live stream things. Are you going to do any of that?
Yeah, so I do live stream on my Facebook page, which is under my name, Genevieve Goings, and I'll start putting them on YouTube too. It's funny, I've kind of ignored YouTube, so I could get back to that and put some more stuff out. But yeah, I'm working on some, and it's interesting. I've toyed with different ideas, again, wanting to jump on and do kind of like preschool type learning. But then as I thought about it more, I was like, there's plenty of that.
Right.
And they're learning a lot, and kids, my fans are aging up even. So what I'm going to do is, and this will be after the release of my projects, is I'm going to start doing more tutorial style videos about creating media. So like if your kid wants a YouTube channel, what's a good setup? Huge. How does that work? How do you edit a video? How do you write a song? How do you record a song and things like that? So I'm, tentatively going to do more of the like superstar electives in the learning phase. So, and because I have so many songs teaching, I've already taught, I think, so many things. So now moving on to that a little bit more behind the scenes. And again, remembering like another sort of pinnacle of my brand has been, to be a good role model, which is, I think we all strive to do that as children's artists, of course. But again, there's an authenticity to me and to what I do that I think I can actually help kids, especially, young girls coming into their tween years and everything, and needing, positive, because I'm still cool, but I just am not like right now. I still can look kind of glamorous, but even though you don't notice it, I'm not showing any skin. So it's kind of like a underlying message that I do.
Oh, okay.
And same with Choo Choo Soul. I have a tie and I'm covered like completely, the conductor outfit. And so that was part of my shtick, like on stage, of saying like, you think I'm cool and I'm not showing any skin? Message, and the parents would love that. So it's kind of like an underlying message there. So I think it'll be good for kids to see you know, these fun things that we like watching YouTube videos and streaming and playing video games and capturing it live and all of that. Mm-hmm. Why don't you turn around and look at how to really do it? If you're really into it, this is what it takes, because it does take work, mm-hmm. but you also can make a living doing things like this. So,
sure. And I think YouTube for kids right now, I mean, that's all huge. They care about. So if they have that
extra
wants
time,
a channel. Yeah.
Everyone wants a channel, but everyone can have a channel. And with parents, like what I tell parents as I'm like helping them set up channels and stuff for their kids is like, just get a iPhone holder for your phone and start with the phone. Make sure your kid follows through with 5 videos. You get them done, you get them edited. If they actually do that, then they're actually into it. And then they deserve like a ring light, you know? Mm-hmm. If they make 5 more, then they deserve a backdrop. You know what I mean? So not deserve, but you know, that they're actually into it, because kids will be like, I want to do it. And then they realize it's work and they're like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. They just assume that you walk into YouTube with like a million.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
Why don't and I hate the numbers.
I feel so bad for kids these days with the numbers, with the likes, and just, I can't imagine going through that in high school or middle school.
Gosh. Yeah, I can't either. I had an older coworker of mine. She was telling me about her son he's in high school, and he was saying like his Instagram only had 3 pictures on it, because she said he takes down anything that doesn't have so many likes on it, because it's just like the cloud of like everyone in school, like, oh, you only got 40 likes.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh.
It's so terrible.
It's like a real-time popularity contest.
It is. So with a tally, like a running tally that you can see. Yeah, it's
I feel bad for not bad, but like even musicians nowadays that are trying, like the baby bands that are trying to get a label to develop them and make, try to help them, but they'll look at the numbers and be like, oh, you only have 500,000 plays. Like, why would I waste my time with you? So it's like, you have to already like almost achieve it yourself. And then at that point, it's like, why even waste your time giving somebody else the opportunity to make money off of you?
Exactly. I know that's what's so interesting, but I get overwhelmed by that concept too. Uh-huh. But then, again, I think niching down is the way to, get through that sort of thing. And just knowing that everyone is home. And also I had to do this to myself, because I would get into that whole like numbers thing. Like, oh wow, I don't, like Michelle Obama invited me to the White House, but I don't have a blue check mark on Instagram, where you're just like, how is this working? Uh-huh. But I had to turn around. Sometimes I have to turn around and look through stuff. And when I think, let's just say it's like, I don't know, my Instagram, for example, mm-hmm. when you really look and you like, oh my gosh, okay, so this one person, for families, this one person has 6 children.
Right.
So if that was 1 view on a video, that was actually 7 views. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
It's actually 7 human beings
watching the video.
Watching that. Yeah. Or this one person here who has 23 followers is a CEO at DreamWorks. You know what I mean?
Right. Where you're I know. Or you'll see these PR companies that represent these massive artists and they have like 600 followers.
Yeah. And you're like, okay, so that's really not. So I think that the true bosses know that that is not necessarily all about that,
Definitely. Yeah. I totally agree with you.
But people's attention span is so short now. It's very hard to just get on their radar at all.
Right. If you don't catch them in the first like 15, 30 to 30 seconds,
right.
They're done.
Exactly.
They're off the video.
Yep. I know.
So yeah, you gotta.
But I'm one of them too. Like I noticed that about myself. I'll be like, people, man, they don't even watch the stuff I put up. And then like somebody has a video, I'm like swiping past it. Like, oh my gosh.
You're like 12 minutes. I don't have that much time.
When dang well you do have that time.
Of course.
Yeah, it should be like our spiritual tithing that we go through. Pick a day, and have an hour to just go support artists or your friends that make art, or your friends that whatever it is their businesses are. Like we should just I call it spiritual tithing, where I'm just like, this is a section of my, week that I want to dedicate to,
checking out new things
Yeah.
or other people that follow you. I love that.
Yeah,
That's really
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine like if you liked or commented or watched some video of a fan that you've had for a while, they would be so shook by
and
that.
I have some fans. I have this one fan named Jason Pleasant, and he's incredible. He's a musician. He's just intricate. He also happens to be autistic. He's been watching me for
I have 2 sons.
years.
Both my sons are autistic.
Oh, really? Yes. So he and I have like connected. We're like besties. This has been years going on, and he'll get so into my music where he knows all the chord changes and everything. He's made remixes for me. And like, rad. And so I've watched him. His YouTube channel has surpassed me. Wow. My numbers. Yeah. And he's just awesome. And he has this whole network of friends that like I've come to befriend them as well. And it's so awesome. I love to turn around and see what people are doing because it's just so interesting. So with this whole concept of teaching and, guiding and coaching kids into making content, I can't wait to see what they make. It's like, there's that whole other thing. Like it's just going to be amazing.
Another rewarding bit of your career, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Kind of adopt what you were doing and do their own thing with it. That's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah. Because, and they say they this whole 10,000 hours concept of how to become like a master of something, you have to spend 10,000 hours at it. Mm-hmm. And I remember in the beginning of my career being like, oh God, that sounds terrible. But it's so true. Like mm-hmm. I feel that finish line, so to speak, that I've crossed to where now I'm like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. Finally, I can say, I know what I'm doing. And like, it's super fun and you guys can do it too.
Yeah. You just got to put the work in. Like, and that's the thing is people assume that somebody is just, and even an artist like who has like a hit now. And it's like, oh, like how did they just come out the gate with a hit? It's like, they've probably been putting out music for 15 years or been trying to do it since they were a kid.
Exactly.
Like, it's not just, it happens.
Yeah. But the good thing too, the fact that our kids now are so good with technology, they can make it faster, I think.
Oh yeah.
They can do it better, but they can, just need to get that information and be like, okay, so this is how it is. I feel like they learn faster than us.
Yeah, they do. And I was wondering that, and I always think about that with I was telling my son with the iPad, how he knows how to do everything. Yeah. And it's like, well, they always say if you teach a younger kid like a different language, like they just absorb it so much faster.
Oh yes, totally. Speaking of which, I've written and recorded over like 100 songs for Disney English, which is Disney's English language learning initiative that they did in China. And it was really interesting. And it's so amazing to be a part of that. Because singing another language is even a better way to learn, learn the language. Yeah.
So you got to learn Mandarin just trying to.
I wish I was teaching English. That was it.
Okay.
I know. Oh, that would have been so cool.
That is awesome though. That's how cool.
Yay.
Well, I can't wait to hear the rest of the record when it comes out. And
thank you so much. Yes, it's going to be so fun, and hopefully, maybe your sons will be into it because your older son, your younger one will, and then like you don't think like the older kids are going to be like, "What is this?" But if you actually think about it, your older son would be more skilled with a shadow puppet. So if he started to try, and then you get it, I'm hoping we can get like a lot of TikTok videos with.
Oh yeah, that'll be huge. Oh, that's the world right now.
Yes, that is the world. So yeah, I'm super excited and thanks for having me.
Oh,
this is so great.
You. I have one more question for you.
Yes.
I want to know if you have any advice for aspiring artists. I know you've been giving it all this whole hour, but
I
love you.
I definitely do. Which first of all is depending what type of artist. But either way, you need to record yourself. That's my number one. And you need to watch it back. You've got to do it. And that's the way, especially for singers. Anyone who records their voice and then they hear it back, they're like, oh my gosh, that's me. You've got to get to the point where you know exactly what you sound like and be honest with yourself about it. if your parents, we know the whole story. Your parents like, oh, honey, you're so good, you know, and then they get to American Idol and it's just like, oh no.
All right.
So definitely being able to record yourself. And also, if you're a singer, you need to have like 2 or 3 go-to songs to where if you walked up somewhere and somebody's like, oh, you sing right now, you know exactly what it's going to be. Because I've spent so much time being like, I guess I could sing, you know? Mm-hmm. So definitely like record yourself, be able to listen back. And that could be as simple as a phone or an iPad. And you can go from there. And then definitely as an aspiring artist, what really is helpful is pick a day that's going to be like your photo shoot day. Mm-hmm. And while you have your main photos that everybody takes, don't forget to take things like that could be for your website or for flyers, like being like a picture like that, or like cool. You just like that, thinking up that way to where you think if you had a flyer, if you were like, it's right here or sale, you know what I mean? Just little things like that mm-hmm. you just have this massive folder of your stuff that's branded, you know, that looks like that. And then you could go back to that folder. That's something that I learned over time where I was like, gosh, I wish I would have taken more photos in whatever. Mm-hmm. And then there are so many websites and stuff now. There's a website called Canva.
Oh yeah.
That has been amazing for me. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. It's definitely Canva. A very user-friendly.
So that would be to make your graphics. You can make anything, flyers, Facebook, Instagram stories, videos that move, you know, all this stuff. And they have a bunch of templates. That's really helpful for an artist just to have that whole brand package. Mm-hmm. That's really great. I even am designing one of my rooms using Canva just because I don't have Photoshop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that is super, super helpful. Also, if you're taking it to the next level of like Pro Tools, which is what I use, or Logic, a lot of them have monthly plans. So then you don't have to fork up like all that money up front.
$1,000 for the program.
So that helps too. And a lot of them have student discounts. So that's really helpful. And then also knowing yourself. Are you the type of person who comes up with an idea and then gets 3/4 of the way done and then you like overanalyze it forever? Or are you the kind of person who wants to learn how to do everything? Are you the type of person who is not great at making graphics? Mm-hmm. You know, you have to start to know that and be willing to say, I'm going to delegate this, and that, and I'm going to give myself a timeline. Because another thing I've done over my 10,000 hours is over obsess over something and then never release it. By the time I was ready to release it, it didn't apply anymore, you know, or it was outdated or, you know, so kind of having a team. Another great website is Fiverr, Fiverr. You can hire people that are, you know, have professional services that they do, like making album covers or doing, you know, editing your photos really quick or doing layouts, animation, you know, stuff like that. So just reaching out and being willing to delegate things that you aren't necessarily great at. Mm-hmm. That's good too.
I love
and
that.
if you're like, let's say you're maybe in high school and you want to do music, reach out to your network, you know, find out other kids your age that are making music. Maybe you didn't even know that, you know, somebody from your math class plays guitar, mm-hmm. or maybe you didn't know that, you know, so-and-so is a singer, and then you guys could collaborate with, you know, music with each other. So collaboration is just, it's so huge. It doesn't make you the most amazing artist because you wrote it, produced it, did the graphics. It doesn't make you better necessarily. I mean, unless that you're just that great at doing it all, but not doing it all doesn't take away from you being a great artist. Bring it back.